The line at the small-town grocery store was longer than usual. Carol Hastings tapped her foot impatiently, glancing at her watch. She had a million things to do: laundry, dinner, and an early morning meeting at work. The last thing she needed was another delay. Just then, a man stepped forward in the next lane. He was tall, broad-shouldered, and dressed in a simple, well-worn jacket. His dark skin contrasted sharply with the pale light of the store. He placed a few essentials on the conveyor belt: bread, eggs, milk, then reached into his pocket. His expression shifted as he patted himself down. I think I left my wallet," he murmured. The cashier, a young woman with pink hair, gave him a sympathetic look. "It happens. If you have a phone, you can use Apple Pay." He shook his head. "I don't have my phone either. I was in a rush." Carol sighed audibly. She wasn't one to cause a scene, but she had little patience for situations like this. People should be prepared when they get in line. The man turned slightly, his eyes scanning the faces behind him. "I live just a few blocks away. If someone could cover me, I promise I'll pay them back." Silence. Carol shifted uncomfortably as the woman ahead of her stepped aside, pretending not to hear. The elderly man in the corner busied himself with a display of newspapers. The man's gaze landed on Carol. "Ma'am, could you—" "I'm sorry, I can't," she said, a little too quickly. She wasn't outright rude, but there was an edge to her voice. A boundary. She wasn't about to hand money to a stranger, and she certainly wasn't going to be guilted into it. The man nodded, a flicker of something unreadable in his eyes. The cashier hesitated before reaching under the counter. "I have a fund for situations like this." "No, thank you," the man said. He turned, leaving the groceries behind. Carol exhaled, relieved the awkward moment had passed. She paid for her items and walked briskly to her car, eager to be done with the day. But just as she unlocked the door, she heard a voice. "Excuse me, ma'am." She turned, and her heart nearly stopped. A black SUV had pulled up beside her, and stepping out was the man from the store. Only now, he was flanked by two uniformed officers. Before she could react, one of the officers stepped forward with a warm smile. "Ms. Hastings, I'd like to introduce you to Mr. William Carter. He's the CEO of Carter Tech." Carol felt her stomach drop. Carter Tech was one of the most successful tech firms in the country, a company known for its philanthropic work, donating millions to underserved communities. She had read about William Carter in Forbes, seen him interviewed on television. And she had just refused to help him. Her face drained of color. I didn't know." William studied her, his expression unreadable. Then, to her shock, he smiled. "It's all right," he said gently. "You didn't recognize me, but I wonder, if I had been someone else, someone without a title or a company, would it still have been all right to walk away?" Carol opened her mouth, but no words came out. The weight of his question settled heavily on her chest. He wasn't angry. He wasn't accusing her. He was simply asking. Tears burned at the edges of her eyes. She thought about all the times she had ignored people in need, all the times she had chosen convenience over compassion. And for what? A few minutes saved, a moment of discomfort avoided. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I should have helped." William nodded, as if he already knew she'd say that. Then, reaching into his pocket, he pulled out a crisp bill and handed it to the officer. "This is for the cashier's fund. No one should have to go hungry because they forgot their wallet." Carol watched as he climbed back into his SUV, the weight of the moment pressing down on her. That night, she lay awake, staring at the ceiling. Something in her had shifted. The next morning, she drove to the same grocery store, walked up to the cashier, and handed over a folded bill. "For the fund," she said softly. The cashier smiled. "That's kind of you." Carol exhaled, feeling something she hadn't in a long time: peace.